There is so much to explore when it comes to scripting love and love scenes. So this video is just a start. And for this video, I'm going to build upon and expand beyond the concept of the muse, one of many factors that often influences the conception and creation of an epic love story and the scenes of which it's comprised. But before I begin, I want to stipulate that while there are many kinds of love, in this exploration I'm looking at romantic and sexual love. To demonstrate my developing ideas, I will be including provocative imagery in this video. And while the following does focus on the strategy of inspiring and writing love, the mindset or philosophy of interconnectedness forms the underpinning to those strategies. I'm going to begin by widening the definition of a muse, and then I'm going to begin to build a love scene, putting this expanded notion of musehood to the test, in preparation for a finished love scene in a subsequent video. Many writers claim to have been inspired by a muse when authoring on-page love. So what or who is a muse? The stimulus behind a great love story and a great love scene? Is it someone you know, a partner, a spouse, a person who broke your heart? Is it a limerent object, a person out of reach, a person you'll never have, an unattainable other? Is it a character from a beloved story or film? Is it a ghost, a phantom that drifts through the tenebrous edges of your rooms or the hallowed halls of your mind? Is it a spiritual entity, some ethereal being that touches down in your most centered moments? For in the modern understanding, all these beings could be granted musehood without much argument. But now I'm going to ask you gently to expand your thinking beyond these traditionally accepted muses. For if we're talking about a writer who is in an optimal flow state, open to the intricate nuances of their surroundings, the pictures beyond or within them, and the words that flow onto the page, well then, taking that into my keeping, I'm going to pose setting as muse, image as muse, and language itself as muse. And if you're uncomfortable with giving these things musehood, then perhaps you could instead call each of these things an inspirational entity. For in my own and many creative people's minds, settings and images and language are living, evolving entities that generate a poignant, palpitating energy that can fuel anything on the page, including love stories and love scenes. Consider a writer, silhouetted, shadowed, in situ in their writing, exposed, given to the page. Would they not be filled with setting? Would they not be provoked by image? Would they not be in love with the language flowing through them onto the page? For when it comes to writing, and when it comes to penning love, there is so much more to draw from than the single stimulus of the accepted muse. Setting, image, and language are profoundly inspirational entities. Together they form a triad, an exceptional energy source for story and for love scenes. Keeping this in mind, I'm going to guide you through a creative exercise to demonstrate this, specifically with regards to a love scene. I want you to take a moment to study this setting. And I want you to notice that I've chosen a setting without furniture, without a bed, without any ornamentation or comforts. This is for a reason. It's to strip the setting down to its bare bones so I can focus on its body exposed, its pillars, its arches, its lines and its curves, the passageway leading into its core. I don't want a bed. I want stone, shadows, light, a place for the rain, a cradle for old leaves, an entryway for the snow. I want a place that shows its age, yet a place that has escaped the hands of time. I want this setting exposed and bare, and I'm going to concentrate on this setting until I love it. And then I'm going to wait for the setting to speak to me in the language that I love. The verbs come first. To darken, to vault, to arch, to illumine, to angle, to curve, to shine, to end, to align, to age, to shadow, to cast, to split, to run, to stand. And then I'll receive its adjectives. Chiseled, cold, sepia, open, hazed, timeless, strong, shaded, soft, illumined, blue, narrow, beautiful, haunting. And then its nouns: cathedral, worship, fissures, corridor, pillars, columns, illumination, light, shadows, sentries, archways. Once it's given me its words, I'm going to place the setting aside. Now I'd like you to focus on the image of the lovers. This is an image I chose at random with no prior plan or expectation or muse in the way that we understand muses to be. I simply chose the image because I found it beautiful. As I did with the setting, I'm going to give this image my full attention and allow it to evoke beautiful verbs. To lean, to love, to relinquish, to give, to receive, to embrace, to shudder, to clasp, to intertwine, to breathe, to bow. And then I'm going to open myself up to its adjectives: enthralled, divine, young, aching, exquisite, free, enraptured, exposed, pale, glimmering, contoured, lost. And then its nouns: paradise, grip, embrace, ecstasy, brevity, aura, remembrance, body, rhythm, shoulders, darkness, breath, oneness. In essence, the muse of setting and the muse of image have given me the muse of language. Now, as I bring setting and image together, entwining one with the other, I'm going to have the setting give its language to the lovers, and the lovers give their language to the setting, so that you have this deeper layer of interconnection going on. Not just the exchange of body and soul of the people, but the exchange of language between the lovers and their setting. And the exchange of language will suggest that space is porous and absorbs what happens therein, and the lovers, sensitive to environment, absorb their surroundings. In the next video, with these two images combined, I'm going to present a love scene in which I do this, so you can see what happens when you expand your definition of a muse or an inspirational entity when it comes to writing love. But before I go, I'm going to introduce another concept I'll be covering in the next video: context. And the context I've chosen to give this scene is memory. By giving this love scene the context of memory, I introduce poignancy, nostalgia, aching, longing, and that profound, painful dance between the ephemeral nature of physical love and the emotion, thought, and soul that outlive it. For a writer, writing is simply another way of living, another way of being. Art is real, and by engaging in a writing process that, in and of itself, gives weight and musability to all the other elements of the act, the writer is demonstrating a psychology of integration, interconnection, the union of body and soul. The writer is interacting deeply with the facets of the story or of the scene. If Canadian thinker Marshall McLuhan was right when he claimed the medium is the message, then writing should practice the love it preaches. So we'll continue this exploration next time on The Mind of the Writer.